Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Rollins from Spinal Couture, and I am here with my friend and patient, Jeremy Cavolo, and he is going to talk to us a little bit about how he ended up in my office.
Thanks, Dr. Rollins. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm happy I'm here and not being pulled apart on your table, but actually it's one of those things I look forward to, believe it or not. But no, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to share what's going on with me and with your patients, and hopefully we can all benefit from it.
I really appreciate you doing this. I think this can benefit a lot of people to educate them on what you've gone through and how it can help them. So tell us your story.
Sure. So I'm 42 years old. When I was 20, I got into a major accident going to the gym. I was, trying to be a bodybuilder. I was training to be a fireman. And just one day I'm working out and I'm shoulder pressing. And I was a power lifter at the time. I was shoulder pressing about 295 pounds. I put it on the rack. It's safe, it's secure. A minute goes by. I go to stand up to leave the exercise equipment and it comes crashing down on my head. The machine failed, the machine broke. However you want to call it, the hooks gave out and landed square on my head. 295 pounds. I shouldn't be here. The fact that happened and I'm still around is got to be like a modern miracle. But honestly, from that day forward, and I can remember like it's yesterday, what it's been like. But I can remember the impact and the pain, how much my life changed and what I had to go through. So it's been a long time.
Can you tell us a little bit about how your life changed? What happened to you after the injury?
Sure, I was very, very active. I was about to be a fireman and I was, working nonstop. I had no problem just being an active person. After the injury, I suffered up to 13 herniated discs. It's a lot of injuries. I nerve damage from my neck all the way to my feet, throughout my body. I have currently have a torn hip, torn shoulder, and I've had over 35 neck and back surgeries just to be upright and mobile.
That sounds like a lot of trauma that your body's endured.
I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I've been told by a couple surgeons I have more injuries than a Hollywood stuntman, which is pretty cool, but it's not something I like to brag about. I've promised a lot of these surgeons I keep my activities to a minimum, but yeah, it's a lot of injuries. It's been life-altering.
How has it changed your activities? So you were a bodybuilder.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done differently?
When I originally got hurt, I went to just the advice of medical doctors who told me just to rest, do not exercise, and take medication, relax, and I basically let myself go. For a while, I just was more worried about the injuries and healing until I had major surgeries such as fusion surgeries. When that happened, I was probably at my biggest. Prior to this, I was a bodybuilder. I was in shape, and I couldn't move anymore. I didn't have my mobility. I didn't have any flexibility, and quite frankly, I didn't want to move with all that pain. So it took a long time to just start moving again. I was stuck.
That sounds really traumatic.
It's not fun. I wouldn't wish it to an enemy, not that I have any. But what I will tell you this much, it's a place you can stay if you let it. If you're in pain and you don't find a way to get out of it, some sort of wiggle room, you will be stuck there, and you'll be stuck in a life where you're limited. For me, something as simple as tying my shoes was something I couldn't do anymore. Going to the bathroom without uncomfortability, not to sound silly, but I couldn't see my toes. You know what I mean?
So you were very overweight at some point?
At one point, after being a bodybuilder, being large, or just being an adult and being in pain, I just wound up eating more, and it's a depression you go through. You can't be in that kind of pain and just not be down.
What did you do for the pain?
So in the beginning, I was prescribed tons of different medications, years of heavy opiates, and honestly, it just gets you into a cycle of some more things not working. Weight gain, opiates, and lack of movement. Let me tell you, it's a different lifestyle than the active, happy-go-lucky guy that's in shape and out doing a million different things. A lot of people stay there, and I have a lot of friends that would get these surgeries and have these injuries as well, and they would stay down as well. For me, it was a little different.
So what changed your mindset? Because you said you were in a state of depression and you gained a ton of weight and you weren't taking care of yourself in that way. You're on pain medication. Things are not going well for you. What changed for you?
So I used to think about the life I was living, and it was not fun. You spend all your free time in doctor's offices, if not pharmacies, and just thinking about what you used to do. You don't want to sound like the guy that peaked in high school or just that's where life stopped. I got injured at 20. I could sing the song of woe is me, but I got sick and tired of just being sick and tired. The light switch went off on me and I said, there's got to be another way. So I made my mind up and I changed it.
So it was all about your mindset.
Everything is. Everything is. The pain that I'm in right now, most people would be crying. The pain that I used to be in with post-surgery, it would make you want to drink. It is honestly excruciating. I found a way to manage it, and there are a lot of people out there doing it. There's a lot of ways to do it. There's no cookie cutter way, but there's several suggestions that you can use and take. For me, I'm going to tell you what worked for me, how it worked, and hey, I hope it works for you. There's honestly nothing worse than suffering in agony when there's options out there. That's what this is really the reason why I want to talk to you and talk to your patients, let them know. What worked for me, hey, I hope it works for you.
So what worked for you?
In the beginning, I was about 340 pounds. I'm about 8 years or so into my injury after blowing up, having surgery after surgery. I just had an extreme bilateral fusion in my lower back. That's 4 levels of my vertebrae, all fused together with steel rods. I had a pregnant belly out here, and I already weighed 340 pounds. So my belly was distended, I was feeling huge, and I could barely walk again post-surgery. Now, this kind of surgery was extremely painful. This was where you had to learn to use your legs again because you didn't know if they were coming back or not. They didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was, but they wound up doing an extra level of vertebrae, doing 4 in total. So for me, 6-7 months after this surgery, I just kept looking at my lifestyle and looking where I wanted to be, where I used to be, and said, something's got to change. Something has to change. So I made a plan. I completed my physical therapy, and I just sat for a little bit until I came up with a plan to go back, take my health back.
Okay. And what did that look like for you?
For me, my cholesterol was really high, and I went and saw my doctor who treats me for my autoimmune disease. She said, your cholesterol, you're going to live on a statin medication for the rest of your life. I think I was 30 years old or 31 at the time. And I asked her, what do I have to do to not be on this medication? She says, lose about 30 or 40 pounds in the next 3 months. So what I did was I dropped 50 in 2 months.
Of course.
I was an athlete at one point. I was able to tap into whatever motivated me. I had a new reason why. And for me, it was several. I didn't want to be in pain, so I'm holding on to an extra 140 pounds in my body. I have a back that's as crooked as a politician, right? And I just have a shitty outlook because I'm fat, I'm in pain, and I'm not moving. So what's the remedy? It was simple. Move, start moving again, little. I wasn't going back and running. I wasn't powerlifting again. I wasn't in the shape I am today or will be next year. I mean, it's a progression. Everything is different. Once you start moving, you will feel better. You have a reason to skip the donut. You have a reason to maybe drink a healthy juice. You have a reason to get to bed and get 7-8 hours of sleep. You start working towards some things and this avalanches into overall better health. For me, I didn't want to be on pain medicine. I got off that thing years ago. Thank God. When your brain clears up, your head clears up, more importantly, losing that weight. I was huge. I was 140 pounds more than I should have been. So, get moving.
So, because I know you, I know what your career progression was, but for everyone else, can you tell us, I know you wanted to be a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out because of your injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us where you went and where you are now.
So right after my injuries, I went on disability for a while. I was one of those few people that was sitting on disability, and my outlook was X amount of dollars a month, sitting at home on pain medicine and not moving. Wasn't really a great outlook. I had a college degree and I wanted more. Through this repetition and work that I did, I got myself a vision of what else I wanted to do with my life. While I was healing up and injured, I did inside sales, so I didn't have a lot of mobility while I had my surgeries, but I was able to work full time. Got off disability, it's in your mindset too. When you feel, hey, I want to do something, you take the necessary steps to do it. So I got off disability, I started working sales, and I had that vision of what I wanted to become, and I started working towards it.
Okay. And where are you now?
Right now, I'm a special educator and a coach for several sports, and I just created and started a new sports club at the school I work at. I'm very proud of what I get to do every day. I feel blessed, especially for a guy that could barely walk, that had to learn how to walk twice in his life. Now I get to do physical activities every day at my age. Pretty excited about that.
That's great. That's really great. So tell me a little bit about how you see Spinal Couture fitting into your life. How has it helped?
So
what brought you in? Because for the most part, people with spinal fusion, spinal surgeries would not seek out chiropractic care because I can't really touch those areas. So why are you here?
So I have gone to a chiropractor my whole life. My family were big advocates of it, and I was too until my injury. Once I had my injury, I could no longer get chiropractic care. I've had radiofrequency surgeries, I've had hydrodiscectomies, regular discectomies, you name it. If the guy told me to wear a raw chicken over my head and it would relieve my pain, well, call me a chicken head. Here I am. And I knew I could not get adjusted anymore, which I know has so many benefits for it, because my neck's fused and my lower back's fused. So think about it like this. So a friend of mine was telling me at the gym, if you got medical massage, it would increase the mobility and the flexibility of your muscles, which would release the tension. Similar principle like yoga or any sort of exercise. Through your medical massage, the areas around the areas that are fused are loose, so I can move better, I can be stronger, I can live an active lifestyle. I come here once a week, and I usually limp in, as you like to point out, but I walk out, no problem, every time. I'm good for quite some time.
That's great. I'm really great to hear that. I'm happy about that. I don't love to see you limping in, but tell everybody what you are planning to be scheduled for soon.
So as my journey has been going with this, the last of my injuries are finally healing up. I have a torn hip, a few muscles in my hip that is torn. I'm going to get a full hip replacement at my age. I'm actually shocked. So 42, getting a hip replacement, which, you know what, I have all the tools I need. I'm excited for the recovery, and I know my body heals, and this will be a big part of it. Going into the surgery, I'm going to get nice and loose and flexible. We've been working on these targeted areas. It's like having your own physical therapist for those nagging injuries. Once you hit 35, 40, you're gonna have them. You have them in your feet, your knees, your lower back. You know, my dad always say there's two knees once you hit your 30s, right? You have your left knee and then you have your good knee, right? One's a good knee, one's a not so good knee, right? So all those nagging injuries, these things help. You know, it makes you looser, it makes you better, it makes you more flexible.
So right now, what we're doing for you in particular is getting you through every day so that you can get to your surgery.
That's it.
To heal. And then after that, we'll continue working on your rehab, and we can work on your other areas as well.
That's it. Dominate the world. So listen, I want to be out of pain, and this is one of the things that keeps me out of pain. So I'm excited to speed up that recovery time and continue living life this way.
Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thanks for being part of my healing journey. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
Guys, if you haven't had a chance, check out Dr. Set. You really need to get down here. Surgeries, whether you had them or not, if you have a family member that still has that bad back after having that surgery, check her out. There are packages here. I come here once a week just because I have to. I just don't want to deal with pain anymore. And honestly, I think it's time for you to get out of pain. Get yourself back in the game. See you, Doc.
Thank you.